If someone were to say, I'm more introverted and I love coming up with wonderful stories and characters and being in a room with my cats or dogs and just working on this stuff, which sounds wonderful to me, by the way.
You need a partner.
And that partner would be?
Somebody that is, I have a lot of, most of my friends that I've made from the business are not writers because, sometimes writers are kind of boring to talk to, frankly. But producers, because they have these great, if they're a successful producer, you must have a sparkle to you, but some of my friends are really, producers are very aggressive, and they're like, if they see someone in a restaurant, they dive, they got a script in their trunk, Others, like, they're very reserved. They're more of the English style, not that I'm saying this as a general, I don't know, a zillion English producers, but you don't get the sense that they're, stepping over each other. Brian Grazer, as an example, is, and Ron Howard, his partner. Ron's like, a very mellow guy. Brian is from another world, and he's brilliant. Like I pitched him, sold him a movie once, and, I always bring in, I never, ever, ever look at my paper, if any young kid is listening, because it's like, who wants to hear anybody do an oral report, but I bring it in because, in case I, for some reason, forget where an act break is or whatever, and Brian, whose brain works like at a speed different than most humans, he's like, he vibrates, he's very energetic, and he can, think of like 18 things at once, and he's just a different kind of brain. It's a good brain, it's fast, but the first, he's like, oh, hey, hi, Gina, a little, how you doing? But within 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, 1 minute, he saw that I had, it was probably 5 sheets of paper. He goes, oh, shit, are you going to read that? Like, and, I'm like, no, don't worry. And he's like, I couldn't sit there for all that, and it's, when young writers go in with their paper and they're like, well, act one, a seasoned producer is just gonna, they don't want to, their time is so valuable. I think a good rule of thumb for a young writer and or director, that's gotta, because when you get to a certain level, then they're trying to please you, but you always have to please somebody like Brian, because he's, it doesn't matter what level you are, Brian's brain is so fast. So, think of them like lawyers that you pay by the hour. Every second you're sitting there is costing you money because their time is really valuable. And
taxi driver too.
Yeah, exactly.
The meter's running.
Yeah, it's running, and the more that they're sitting with you, it's like they are where they are not because they're polite. Like they're not going to sit there if they don't like what they're hearing because there's 1,000 of you. So you've got to be respectful of their time and come really prepared. And if you're not prepared, you have no business in the business, because whoever you're asking to help you, whether it's a help or buy something, this is the other thing that a lot of writers don't understand. They don't understand, in my mind, that you have to earn their attention to flip the page. Like a lot of writers, well, it gets better later. Well, to hell with later, It's like when I read a script of somebody's, if I'm not there in 10 pages, and I figure that's the same way, so a lot of writers are so, there's a difference between vanity and narcissism to me. All artists are narcissistic in order to think we have something to say that's worth it, It takes a certain, but vanity is thinking that you don't have to earn it. And, if you want me to take time away from television or getting a massage or eating or something that is an instant pleasure, you better make sure that's good to take my time. And you have to have that respect for the studio and your friends and producers that some friends hand me these scripts and you know, which is why it's never a good idea to show it to your friends, because A, you can't trust them, you know, and you know, you're sitting there and you're reading Drek and you're like, you have no more respect for my time. Like, give it to me when it's good, you know? Don't make me your proofer. Like, and that's a big thing with young writers. They're just so impressed with themselves, or young, you know, before they learn the thing of value, that to value the other person's energy.